Hello guys, welcome back. It's Logical as always, and today we're going to be a very roided out Khaimera. You know what passive I have, more physical damage in the jungle, as well as Xyrus, I believe it is, or whatever it is. Basically, the more minions that you kill, the more damage you get. The passives I have is the healing, as well as the crit on 150 units killed. Thing is though, I never get this far because apparently a roided out Khaimera can make life exceptionally easy. Now again though, my opinion still stays the same, that the majority of Khaimera builds are good, but there is flexibility. Unfortunately, you can't stop a roided out Khaimera. Now, immediately you're going to be wondering, why in God's green earth am I running crit Khaimera? Honestly, it's part of one of my projects. I'm testing shit, and then I had this match, and it's not just one match, it's two matches. I had this here, so obviously you already know I'm going to go with the Titan Crest. The Titan Crest is obviously one of the better crests, especially for Khaimera. The Warrior and Archery Crest, or the Carry Crest, are both very good, but in this specific scenario, Kai does benefit from having the Titan's Crest a hell of a lot more. As for the teams, we've got, on our side, we've got Greystone in solo lane, Kai, me in jungle, Faye in mid, FaZe and Drongo. So we do. They have Kiara as well as Norbash, Gadget in mid, Bale in jungle, and Morigesh in offlane. And I have to be very clear on what I'm about to say. This is dumb shit. Keep Morigesh out of solo lane. She falls off horribly in late game, and that's all I have to really say in that scenario. As for the rest of their team, it is what it is. Whenever it comes to being Khaimera, again, I will try to go through this in somewhat of a bit of detail, because I do a lot of stuff that people would consider what's the word? Not ineffective, inefficient, right? But particularly whenever it comes to me, I'm a bit greedy on it, so I am, right? Because I'm Khaimera and I do have health regen, I'm going to be looking to farm my opponent's jungle, so I am. That's my entire gimmick. But I do try to take advantage here and try to gank this Morigesh. Now, unfortunately, I didn't succeed in the kill, but Greystone did. His greed got him killed. That's all fine and dandy. It's technically a tie at that stage. Instead of that there now what I'm going to do is I'm going to farm his jungle. Because with the health regen that Kai does get, it does give him good sustain in jungle. This is a good thing. This allows you to go into their jungle and take their farm. This is particularly devastating because it reduces the risk, or it reduces the farm that the Bale is getting. Now, unfortunately, Morigesh did chase me out of the jungle, which was fair dibs on her. She did succeed in what she needed to do. She needed to stall me out, which is fine and dandy. It is what it is. So at this particular scenario, I'm going to go back to my normal rotations in this scenario, which is more or less the rotation that every other jungler that doesn't have some form of sustain in jungle will normally take. If they have sustain in jungle, they will rob your jungle. So yeah, do have to be particularly safe on that. Simply because I've gotten up to date with all my farm. We're going to take the seedling. I've got the health regen for it, so why not? I need the cash, so I do. And particularly my Faye is outplaying their Gadget. Our dual lane is doing quite well, and Bale's nowhere to be seen. Bale must have spent an awful lot of time farming, so he must have, which is a bit disappointing. Now again though, it is what it is. And again, we are warding up lane because, again, people do tend to forget to place wards. I will throw my hands up and I will say I also forget to place wards. Again, I do place them in the key positions that I need them to be, so I have full vision. Again, taking another seedling, giving myself another boost. Now, in saying that though, is what you do have to remember, with having Xyrus, my damage is increasing with every minion I take. Again, with the help of Overlord, my damage is increasing. So it is. Now, luckily enough, they had just the perfect ult, and then double ult combination gets rid of Gadget. But back onto the Xyrus. As long as I'm farming, I'm increasing in power. Now, not just that there, I am currently double stacking with Overlord and Xyrus. This gets substantially more dangerous later on. Obviously, Kiara has rotated now to try to interfere with my plans. Me and Bale had a wee bit of a stare off, but duo lane has now engaged, and so has our mid laner. And of course, the engagement doesn't really go anywhere, but I am going to end up stalking duo lane for interfering. Now, again, what did I say? Khaimera is very effective at taking everybody else's jungle. The only way that you can out jungle a Khaimera is if you can out DPS him. But because I'm also running a very particular type of Eternal that gives me damage with all the bit of farm that I can get, yes, basically my entire goal is stealing as much farm as I can, because that feeds into Xyrus, which then feeds into my damage, which then feeds into my clear speed, which then allows me to farm faster. It's as simple as that, so it is. There is going to be a unique item that we are going to pick up later on that probably a lot of people haven't realised exists, unless you're playing specific characters, but it is relatively quite damn dangerous on Khaimera for 2 reasons, and you will understand this by the end of it. But now that I've done what I needed to do, and yeah, I cleared jungle and then just stalked duo lane until they made a critical mistake. Taking that into consideration, with that critical mistake, I don't know where Bale is, but if I am correct and I remember correct, yes, he is taking mini prime. He chose the wrong option. Instead of going for a team-wide buff, they went for a mini prime buff, which is temporary unless you're going to heavily push. So, unfortunately, and then top that their gadget did go down relatively quickly. This Fae is very good. We're going to back, so we are, and then we're going to start building into the shenanigans and the main crest that Kai should always be using. We're going to be building into Terminus as well as Zephyr's Mantle. Zephyr's Mantle, everybody knows what it does. It makes you a beefy boy. So it does the additional defense and health. Does help with Khaimera's tankiness, especially when greed is on the plate. Again, in my opinion, I do tend to run Khaimera more like an ambush predator than anything else. If you step slightly out of line, Kai's going to claim a kill. That's how I like to run my Chimeras. So I like to pop out, get my kill, and go away. The only ever reason that I'll be sustained in lane is if I'm really having a punch out. But other than that my goal is to completely shred towers. This is part and parcel of it as well. My goal is genuinely to be a forward push, so it is. If I do ever succeed in taking out a particular lane, my goal is genuinely to try and take tower as well. Faye and Greystone get themselves into a little bit of a kerfuffle in a 2v4, which is a remarkable thing to say. Getting yourself into a 2v4 is a very, very dangerous prospect. But of course my ambush range is too short, so I go back to deal with the gadget. The Fae then drops the speed buff and absolutely allows me to rinse the gadget. Again, remember, not only do I have crit now available with the help of Terminus, I also have Xyrus stacking my damage as well. So I am hitting harder and harder as this game goes on. So I am, and that is what makes this dangerous. So not only am I getting gradually tankier with the help of Overlord, I'm also gradually doing more damage thanks to Xyrus, and then of course crit just makes me a little bit too strong. Thanks to the passives of Xyrus, obviously I'm going back to my farming routine here now, so I am. But obviously with the stacks from Xyrus, I'm getting more powerful. Not just that though, as far as I'm aware, I don't actually ever reach the 150 stacks, which is quite a funny statement to make. But our goal is basically to make sure that we get a cleanup, so we do. Again, we're now making our way to our second Fang Tooth, and as far as I'm aware, this is the engagement that sort of snowballs us very much so out of control. So it is. There are 3 of them here, 4 because I think Gadget's lacking behind a little bit. Now luckily enough, Narbash managed to drop his ult, and then Faye followed up. I take out Narbash, Drongo takes out Bale, and then we somehow managed to pull this one off. Faye manages to land a snipe on the Kiara, completely rendering them moot at this stage, which is devastating. Now, my original goal here was to build into tainted rounds, and then I decided to go with Plasma Blade. This is a unique item, particularly because it allows you to stack crit chance on your opponents. What else does Plasma Blade give you, and is particularly very dangerous on Khaimera, is magic damage. The reason why is because it adds to his health regeneration. So it does. And this is a big issue. Now, fair play to Morgesh. She manages to weave me quite well here, so she does. Still can't weave Greystone though, so it's still a GG at that stage. But that was a very impressive, very impressive weave. But the Plasma Blade has a very, very unique effect whenever it comes to being Khaimera. Now, again, naturally, I tend to heavily disagree to using attack speed on Khaimera. Bale tries to interfere with my Orb Prime here, but Faye manages to do her job. But at the exact same time, I'm wondering why Bale can't really do anything to me, but it's likely because, like most people, he hasn't built anti-heal, which is going to cost him the game. Regardless, I don't care. If there's a Khaimera in the enemy team, you build anti-heal. I have reiterated this several times. So I have. I try to get Bale, but Bale TP's out, so I just go back to farming yet again. Now look at how quick my farm now is. I have Zephyr's Mantle and Overlord to cover the health basis, and then I'm now building into crit to keep me alive, well, to pump out the damage. Terminus gives me that extra bit of even more durability. Look at the devastation I just wrought on that Bale. Like, look at that devastation. That is something that should not have happened. Bale is naturally tankier than Khaimera, so why was I able to rinse him so easily? Narbash doing Narbash things, and of course I don't care. Between the Plasma Blade's health regen, the additional crit, the healing that I'm getting, I'm basically a self-sustaining machine if I'm fighting someone. So I am. And Kiara picks up, and then of course Bale's doing Bale things. Obviously, now that we've pushed advantage, what am I looking to do? I'm looking to claim my third Fangtooth. This is the only thing that I can agree on doing for the meantime until I get the required fundings. Now, in saying that there, this will change later on, but of course Ashbringer, probably one of Khaimera's most controversial items is the best way I can put it, because it only works if you're a good Kai. Unfortunately, I have the ever so lovely pleasure of causing Morgesh the worst heart attack she has ever seen. Out of the shadows, she proceeds to get deleted, and then I'm just back into the shadows again. After doing that there and removing Morgesh from the playing field, I decide to be a greedy little shit and try to take Orb Prime, while in the process of trying to take Orb Prime, everybody else just ends the game. So, fair enough, I guess. I'm not going to complain too much. Of course, everybody does the obligatory GG, and then Faye comes out with a very interesting statement. Wait do you see? Finally, a normal team. Can we just look at that for a second? On what fucking planet is what I just did fucking normal? Now, on to the dumb shit segment of the video, because again, dumb shit is always going to be dumb shit regardless. Now, here's the thing. Look at my team and look at their team and look at the difference in what they have done. Look at our carries, for example. Drongo started tainted rounds because of Bale and Narbash. So he automatically knew exactly what needed to be done and when to do it. He knew that Narbash had healing. That's all he needed to know to build tainted rounds. Look at the Kiara. She built tainted rounds third item, which means that she wasn't going to do jack diddly squat to me until otherwise, and that was at the end of the game. Narbash doing Narbash things. Unfortunately, Gadget never even bothered trying to build anti-heal. She was trying to build for anti-tank. Now, let's look at this very quickly. The only two people that are considerable tanks in this situation is both me and Greystone. Moving on to their Bale, who is 0-4, might I add. Built Mutilator, then went into Augmentation. Where is the anti-heal? There isn't any, so you couldn't stop me. Morgesh is the exact same in this scenario. You do not have anti-heal. You are not stopping me unless it is a 4v1. So this is my point. So it is build your anti-heal, stop the dumb shit. On top of that there, just to add extra dumb shit to this, keep Morgesh out of lane. She is not strong enough to be in lane. She is not good enough to be in lane. So please, for the love of Almighty God, keep her out. She falls off late game and proceeds to get bodied. Okay, so match number 2. Again, you already know that I'm Khaimera on ROID. There's not really much exaggeration to that there. Only this time their team's a little bit more balanced out. No mage in the off lane, Fang Mao in jungle. They've got Bale in off lane, Fang Mao jungle, Argos mid, Zinx and Sparrow. We've got FaZe, Twin Blast, Countess, me, and Acheron. Again, I still am starting to believe that Acheron is actually a sleeper pick. He is a lot more dangerous than people do give him credit for. Again, I'm going to cut out a lot of the useless knowledge. You know what I'm up to. You know that Zephyr's Mantle is going to be the one cooking here, as well as we're going the standard setup. Now, my rotation's a bit different because I am going to ward up my jungle. I'm going to cut out the farm simply due to the fact that, well, I fucked up here. I'm going to cut out a lot of the farming because, well, you know I'm going to be farming. You know I'm running Xyrus. You know all of this here. Again, being an ambush predator is what I do best. Again, Argos is low health under tower. Of course I'm going to abuse it. Kinda says retreat and then says good job. That's because my greed is absolutely unquantifiable sometimes. Fang Mao did actually sweep my other half. So, of course, I will be getting revenge for that. Unfortunately, was unable to catch the Bale before he returned home. Obviously, disappointing at that scenario. So it is this time round I did pick up Sentry and Overlord because Sentry is more or less just for dealing with wards. I want to make sure that I'm going to get a clean entrance whenever I'm ganking. So I do. Again, Countess, Fang Mao's being greedy as per normal. Of course, I'm just going to counteract that with even more greed. So I am. That's as simple as that there. I think it was Red Buff that managed to finish him off. I do have to give credit to Argos here because Argos managed to pull off a very, very sneaky play here. He managed to hit level 6 just in time, so he did. And I have to give him credit because he takes out Countess and then proceeds to wipe me off the face of the earth. Fair play to the Argos. I have to credit it. Well done. Bale, however, is not as lucky. Again, I have gotten better at being more conservative with my ambush because, again, ambush is ambush for a reason. I'm getting a lot more conservative with it and just running into lane rather than ambushing from the fog wall. I basically off rip in case they TP or leap, so I am being a lot more conservative with it. Then, of course, we do the standard thing of, well, Bale's out of the way, I don't know where Fang Mao is, so we're just going to remove Mini Orb. This time it's not for me, it is for the Acheron, because once he gets his hands on it, that will definitely help him in lane, and I do believe he does proceed to absolutely shove his lane with the help of Mini Prime, so I do. Argos makes the one simple mistake of trying to stop me in this scenario, and Acheron is making sure that he is ending this one way or another. Down goes Argos. Again, for me, it is build-up time. So again, more farming. Obviously, we've got Overlord. Fang Mao started a fight that I'm nearly sure if I had managed to keep on top of him on this, I would have been able to destroy him. But he reaps away, so can't really do much. Sparrow's at low health, so of course my greed springs into action here. And then, of course, I die. Now, here's the thing though, I didn't realise Fang Mao went a very odd direction and proceeded to wipe out FaZe, and then I believe the Zinx was able to pick up the Twin Blast, which is a disappointing outcome. So it is. But of course, greed being greed as it is, I'm waiting for them to make the mistake of rotating into lane, and if they choose not to, well, that's on them. I'm going to take fucking Fangtooth. Acheron just so happens to be making his way towards me as well. This is a great bonus. Twin Blast puts down Sparrow, which gives me a lot of usability. Because at least I'm not going to get ulted as soon as I'm seen. So, good advantages there, so it is. Fang Mao does notice that we're on Fangtooth, but completely ignores it to go after the Countess while we secure Fangtooth. Your job's to try and stop me from securing Fangtooth. So of course this results in a full head-on rotation across the lanes, and of course Countess is playing the dodge, duck, dip, dive and dodge game, which I have to give credit for. She survived. Of course, my greed being what it is, when it was going to go after the Argos, notices the Fang Mao, and of course he misses his ult. I don't miss mine though, and then Twin cleans up. Beautiful. So it is actually beautiful. Now again, shenanigans are as they are. Argos takes out FaZe. I'm going to engage the Argos to see if I can pick up a kill. Sparrow's still slowing me. Twin Blast puts down Sparrow. Beautiful. But at this stage, that's me. I'm out. I'm just going to have a nosy, see who's building anti-heal, because of course anti-heal is the only thing that can shut down Khaimera. Of course, Sephir's Mantle, Terminus as per normal. If you are not building anti-heal early enough, it is going to cause issues. So it is. But Argos feels like a little bit of a sweet treat in this scenario, because Countess picks off Argos, and of course I'm going to go on the fucking Fang Mao now. Fang Mao can't seem to land one ult on this Countess, and it's hilarious, because then he gets deleted by me. So it is. I do feel sorry for him sometimes, because again, I don't think anybody expects to see a crit Khaimera anymore, or at minimum they expect to see something along the lines of fucking Ashbringer, but you rarely ever see a full designated crit Khaimera. Now again, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to scrap with Bale. I seen the ult coming. That was on me. Acheron with the Acheron doing Acheron things, and literally just straight up getting in the way. Again, this is the reason why Khaimera has to be feared. If Khaimera is wounded, look at that healing. All Khaimera takes is a few minutes in jungle, and he is back to full fighting strength. Of course, after getting back to, again, full fighting strength, I'm going to go take Fangtooth. Why not? This is a critical point of view that a lot of people need to understand. If Khaimera is on low health and you have not seen him back, he has not backed. That is a major point of reference that I need to bring up. If you have not seen a Khaimera back, he has not backed. And this just turned into a beautiful little coincidence, so it did, because Fang Mao is dead, Argos is dead, and Sparrow is dead. This is the perfect opportunity to take Shaper, so it is. I'm currently sitting at 5-2, so I'm happy enough. I'm pretty much doing exactly what I expected to do. Again, haven't gotten to that real snowball heavy system yet, but once that gets online, we will be having a bit more fun. Of course, once we take Shaper, we go take Mini Prime again, because why not? Really? Fang Mao's still out of commission. We've got enough time to grab another Mini Prime, because of course Mini Prime, full Prime comes in 20 minutes. And well, we're at 18 minutes, so we've got this in the bag in terms of that there. So we do. And then, as I said, and we're well stocked on cash as well at this moment in time. Again, I really don't need to back all that often, but with the Orb Prime I will back, because I've got the dough. Now we start to build into Plasma Blade. Again, I'm pretty sure that will surprise a lot of people, because it is quite a unique item. Now, I had already seen Fang Mao coming this way, so I'm just going to be the standard me and engage. Unfortunately, Ziggs burned her ult. I arrived just in time. Fang Mao tries to run past me. Argos picks up the kill, and no harm. This is a bad situation, but as long as I take Fang Mao with me, I've taken both Sparrow and Fang Mao. I'm happy with that outcome. Unfortunately, it was a 3-for-2, but it is what it is. Acheron's doing Acheron things, as well as Countess is doing Countess things. Fang Mao takes out Twin Blast, so I'm just going to be the greedy one here, and Fang Mao believes he is getting away from me. Let me make this very clear. Fang Mao ain't going anywhere, people. Fang Mao is dead. So he is. People need to understand this with Khaimera. Khaimera, you can't really You can't really fuck with a Khaimera, so you can't, because again, his clear speed, see, once you start getting running, his clear speed is absolutely insane. Fang Mao manages to steal, Fang Mao then dips out, so guess what? Argos is lovely pickings right now. But this turns into a very messy engagement, so it does, with the ults flying everywhere and so on and so forth. Acheron does dive in on top of the Argos, allowing me to capitalise, but with it being a 4v2, I'm not really willing to risk that. So I'm going to opt my ass out. Somehow, magically, Acheron manages to squeak out and escape. So he does. And again, I'm greedy, so I am. So if I see Fang Mao, now watch as this damage absolutely rips through Fang Mao. Like, Fang Mao, I don't even think Fang Mao realised what just happened there, because he just got absolutely demoed on the spot, so he did. Now, he is weakened, and as far as I'm aware, he doesn't build any healing, so he is kind of screwed in that situation. He will have to back in that scenario. I want my rematch with Bale, so I'm going to jump him. Now, Bale still hasn't built anti-heal, or at least as far as I'm aware, he hasn't built anti-heal, so I am out-damaging him by quite a margin. Acheron just likes to say hi, and that immediately deletes him. Fang Mao's down, Sparrow's down, and Bale is down. Guess what? We're taking full orb now, so we are. And you can probably already tell that this is the beginning of the end for this fight, because there's realistically nothing that's stopping me. Now again, in all fairness, I think only two of the five did actually build anti-heal, which is a bad move, especially whenever Acheron's a thing as well, because Acheron, Countess, Kai, FaZe all have healing. So if you're not building anti-heal first or second item, you're causing issues. This time I went into Imperator. Of course, we're just going to delete Shaper, so we are. And then at this stage, this just turns into a one and done. So it is. Everybody's here. Argos and Sparrow do not know. We just took Shaper, and the two of them decided to stay in. Why? I don't know. I genuinely don't know why they decided to stay, because Zinx actually had a brain and left. So she did. So fair play to her. She was the only one that had any common sense left to actually escape. Because what happens next is basically, you can already tell at this moment in time, it is straight up game over. So it is. It is hard to contest with a crit Kai. I don't know why this build works. All I know is it does work. But I have a firm grasp on why it works so well, because of people's lack of knowledge. Now again, I'm saying this to make this very damn clear. Build fucking anti-heal. Because not only am I healing thanks to my Eternal, I'm also healing thanks to Terminus and my passive. So I have health regen quite literally out the ass. And that ended in a resounding match. So it was. It was just quick and easy. There really was not much to it. So there wasn't. That is why I just cut out a lot of the farming, because it's not required. It's a demonstration to explain to people why you build anti-heal. And now to the obligatory, and I have to be honest on this one, the obligatory dumb shit segment of the video. Again. Okay guys, so on to the dumb shit section. So let's take a look real quick here, because guess what? My team seemed to follow my rules to the letter, but their team didn't get the memo. So let's take a look at this real quick, shall we? Let's look at Acheron and Bale off rip. Acheron immediately, first item, into anti-heal. Bale went into anti-heal, third item. But can we see what the issue is? He is building carried anti-heal, aka tainted rounds. This gives him no survivability, and the phrase, your name, I'm sorry, I'm noob, definitely fits a little bit too hard in this scenario, so it does. I'm not even denying that anymore, because that fits a bit too much. Following that there, we have Fang Mao, who built anti-heal, second item. Very good. Argos, fourth item, maybe a bit late. Zinx, second item, congratulations. And then finally we have Sparrow, who built no anti-heal whatsoever, not understanding the ramifications of this. The simple ramifications being as follows. There is a Phase in our team. There is a Countess in our team. There is a Chimera in our team. And there is an Acheron in our team. Guess what we all have in common? We can all heal. This makes us exceptionally dangerous. So, what have we learned today from the shenanigans of this match? Simple as, build anti-heal earlier so you do not get slapped by the end game. Trust me, it is worth it. This is why I've made it a rule to build its second item unless you're running Crit Chimera for some unknown magical reason. But anyway guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share and subscribe if you did indeed enjoy. And remember guys, not everything goes to plan. Bye!